males are the protectors of this realm, and females are the spiritual protectors of the other side.
That's so crazy because Dad, he had, hour-long sermons where he would explain that the power of the priesthood must come through a male, and females, because of their emotion, often they often invite evil spirits, is what he would say.
I disagree.
I know.
I respectfully disagree. Respectfully disagree with your dad.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying I believe that, but I've heard that from when I was a young boy.
Sure. We have lost so much by cutting females out of stuff.
Welcome, everybody. This is the Jaden Jeffs Podcast. I left the FLDS cult, and now I'm doing a podcast. Today, I have Matt Brown with me. We call him Brownie. Thanks, Matt, for coming. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, you betcha. My name is Matthew Brown. My friends call me Brownie. I'm a retired member of the Utah Army National Guard. Did that for almost 27 years total. Been all over the world. Went to Afghanistan as a veteran of Operation OEF, or Operation Enduring Freedom. Went to Afghanistan 06, 07. Yeah, Japan, Korea, all over the place with the National Guard, and it was a wonderful experience, a wonderful career. Had some great people, and connected with the people of Afghanistan. Had a pretty special mission there as an embedded trainer. So, yeah, that whole experience was wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and scary and terrifying and sad and all of it. The whole gamut of emotions tied to deployment.
Yeah, and just so people know, Matt and I met Brownie. We met at a psychedelic retreat.
Yeah. So.
And we're here to talk about psychedelics, religion, and just our experiences and life in general.
Yeah, maybe go down a rabbit hole or two.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the really good things about me coming out of the FLDS is meeting people like you guys.
Yeah.
That, have maybe had kind of rougher lives or not. But, other guys to kind of rub your ideas against and keep you in line. And it seems like we kind of didn't have that as much. In the FLDS, it was so you do what you're told, and you don't really rub your ideas against each other.
Yeah, you don't question anything, right?
Yeah, so one of the first things I was going to ask is a bunch of religious people right now, they have a serious bias against even the idea of taking psychedelics.
Right.
And we're not trying to convince them to, especially, but for the conversation, what would put them in an open mind to kind of accept the conversation we're going to have?
Yeah.
Because I used to think of psychedelics in the same vein that I would think of cocaine.
Sure.
Anything else. And I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
LDS people or FLDS people.
Absolutely. I would say to them that the foundations of all religion are tied to psychedelics. Joseph Smith did psychedelics, dude. Right? And that's some of the reasons why he had different... inside the church, he felt like he needed to put basically routes in the stone, right? He had all these routes planned out. He's like, we need to have channels in here for future things, future stuff. I don't know why, but we need to put these channels in. And he put these channels in, and in later renovations, they were able to run water lines and electricity and stuff down these channels, which would have been exposed and ugly in the temple.
You mean like in Nauvoo or?
In this one.
Oh, you mean in the temple?
In the temple, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So he put these routes in there because he foresaw that those were needed.
Did he design the Salt Lake Temple?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He designed the first two temples for sure.
So I've listened to a couple different podcasts that have sort of explained that, and actually and I went to a discussion about it, and they had proof that actually Joseph Smith's grandson was trying to start a church, right? For whatever reason, it fell through, right? But it's tied to all of us. It's tied to all humanity.
Joseph Smith's mother, I think, was like pagan, or something like that.
Tied
Is paganism tied in with mystics and psychedelics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where it's come from?
I think you go back far enough, all the origins of all of us, right? We were all indigenous at one time. We all came out of the woods, right?
Yeah.
And the use of all these different medicinal things, the herbs, the mind-altering stuff, the therapeutic stuff, it's all tied to nature. It's all tied to creation, right? It's the very foundation of our existence, of all of humanity, right? And I believe that psychedelics, they have the whole stoned ape theory, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of that, where
Yeah.
these pre-humans followed the herds. Well, the herds poop. In the poop grows the mushrooms. They're hungry. They're eating these mushrooms, and it improved our brains. It expanded the size of our brains. And obviously, you see this guy. He's got a big old head on him, right? Right, it worked,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. What was your introduction to psychedelics? Because you were in the Army for a long time. Surely you weren't just doing psychedelics and everything.
Surely, I'd never break rules. No, I'd listened to a Joe Rogan podcast, right? Tying back in the podcast that he spoke about DMT. And at the time, I was in the military. And I did my research. It was going to be out of my system in 24 hours. DMT is naturally produced in our brain. And in our brain, our liver, and different portions of our body that communicate back and forth, right? So they refer to it as the spirit molecule. A lot of mysticism is tied to it. Like in South America, they have ayahuasca or yahe, and it has two different chemicals, two different plants that are tied to it. Right? There's 150,000 different plants in the jungles. Right? So these shamans were guided to pick out these two plants, go through the process, which then allows us to really bring two worlds together, the reality that we see now and also the spirit world. And through these ceremonies in South America, you're able to let go of the past. You're able to process stuff. You're able to look at it from a different perspective. And it's absolutely magical. It's been healing people for thousands and thousands of years. So DMT is an active component in majority of these substances.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, which is naturally produced in our brain. When we're born, we come out of mama, our heads are squoze. That's our first release of DMT, which welcomes us into this world, right? And then when we die, we see our life flash before us. That's the release of DMT, which allows us to leave our body and go into the spirit world. So that's the link in between this existence and the spirit world.
So what was the first time you did DMT, or did you do psilocybin first?
So, I watched the Joe Rogan thing. I was out with my brother in California, and he had some DMT, and smoked it in a glass pipe, sort of a crystal type of substance. And
that's just like the 10-minute thing, right?
Right. It was like 10, 15 minutes maybe. And I took 2 big puffs, and basically incapacitates you. You lay back, and the very first thing I said when I went in was, "This is life. Holy cow." Right? Because I just had this beautiful, powerful psychedelic experience. The walls were pink and blue and purple, and I had a connection to not only California, but to my house in St. George. I felt like I was at both of those places, my childhood home in St. George, and it felt like both of those places were linked, right? And it felt very familiar, like I've done it before, right? And I look over, my brother was taking care of me, and I look over at him, and he had an aura around him and a crown. And I looked down, and I could see my aura. I could see my luminous energy field, right? The protection around me. And then as things were slowing down, I'm coming out of it, and give my brother a hug, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I walked downstairs, and the trees and the wind, or the air around it was just crisper and better, and I realized that was the first time that I had thought about Afghanistan on, like constantly. It was constantly in my head.
Because did you fight over there?
Yeah. So
okay.
an embedded trainer, they live with the Afghan National Army and fight alongside them. So yeah, I had a lot of stuff, get shot at, shoot back, and all that stuff. But I let that go, and before I had to sit in the corner of the restaurant, I was always looking at the door. I'm evaluating everybody in the room, looking for having exit route and a plan for everything, right? I'm just organizing this, okay,
Yeah.
right? Or I'd be driving and I see trash on the side of the road, and I'd cruise, I'd go as far away from it as I could in case it was an IED. Right? That was just my mental thing constantly, because you're in that fight or flight mode, and it doesn't turn off. Right, a lot of guys, 20 years past or whatever, are still geared up and still, where's my weapon? Where's my whoopee? Right?
Yeah.
And I don't do that anymore, and it's been beautiful.
Yeah.
So that very first experience, I'm like, oh my gosh, we can heal ourselves. This is wonderful, and went on to experiment with mushrooms, which was magical and healing and challenging, and fast forward, I went to an acacia ceremony with Matt Butler, and him and I connected, and he's taught me, gosh, so much about this space. He's a retired special forces officer, and sort of has his own journey. He started a year or two before me, and yeah, it's just been magical. It's a magical experience where I've sort of changed my mindset from being a soldier into being a soldier that helps veterans see past the trauma that was picked up in the military, or even prior to the military. We treat a lot of people that have had horrible stuff happen to them in their childhood. I'll share a pretty special experience. I had my dad came to one of our ceremonies, and he did a good size
in real life.
In real life. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad came out to one of our ceremonies and did a good portion or a good dose of mushrooms, and there's 4 or 5 of us that were holding space for him, and he went back to when he was a baby, and my grandmother, my grandmother was sort of mean to him, right?
Okay.
It was an unexpected birth, and so he sat up in the top of the house there in St. George and cried, right? And he went back to that time frame, and he actually had his arms up like he was trying to reach for something, like he was back in his crib, right? He processed a lot of that stuff, and it's been a beautiful experience. So
did you grow up LDS?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, grew up in LDS in St. George, Utah, and at a young age I was questioning things.
Okay.
Right, like my parents. I don't want to talk smack on my parents. They did the best they could with the training that they had, right? And we all do, right? We've all messed up stuff, right? We've all gone into stuff that, anyways. One of the things that sort of stuck out to me, I was like 7 or 8 years old, and my parents were like, "Oh, don't hang out with that kid. He's Catholic. He's going to hell." I'm like, "What? How?" And in my head, I'm like, "Okay, his parents were raised Catholic by their parents, and that's the faith that they feel tied to. Why are they going to hell? Just because they're not Mormon? Like, what about all the billions of Buddhist kids and Hindus and like all the different faiths across the world? They're all wrong, totally wrong?
Uh-huh.
Oh man, they're all worshiping their version of God, right?
Yeah.
And I personally believe that all of their versions of the same thing. It's one. Consciousness and God and all this it's one energy. Right?
Yeah. Why do sometimes I feel so frustrated on Mormons, particularly. I don't know why. I grew up in the FLDS, but I didn't grow up with the LDS.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I sometimes just feel so dang frustrated with those guys.
I had I guess a lot of like religious trauma, because I obviously grew up in it and was like really pressured to go on a mission and had all this, had an experience with a bishop where I was just like, you don't trust me, I'm not going to go down the whole rabbit hole of that, but I think it's just part of the culture, right? And we have to allow everybody to follow their path, follow what their intuition is, right? Somebody's intuition is to be controlling and, blinded by just blind faith, right? Blind faith that they're being told the truth.
Yeah.
Right? And this is how it is. Right? Well, I believe psychedelics, so the word psychedelics means to expand your mind expanding, right? So why not think differently? Why not look at different perspectives? And through this journey, I've discovered that like we are all connected. We're all one, right? No matter if you're, Russian Orthodox in Russia or you're a South American tribesman, there are connections there, and we are all brothers and sisters, and we have this magical world that we live in that is teaching us lessons, that is guiding us on our paths, right? Which is why we're on this podcast right now, because the universe brought us together to talk about this stuff and to spread the word of love. It's love and understanding, right? And I've connected to that spirit and had it envelop me, and it was just love and understanding.
That's the thing about psychedelics is everybody that experiences them seems to have a more kind, a more loving view towards the world after.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of religious people, they view them as a drug, and they view them as connecting to Satan and the spirit of Satan. And you should do this naturally, like through fasting and religion, rather than through psychedelics. And I think the thing that they're missing is that, or they're just brainwashed into thinking that it's evil or something.
Right.
Because every person I know
yeah.
has come off of it and been like more loving. And I mean, even for sure, for me, the few days after, I felt certainly more love towards everybody. I just wanted to call all my friends and check in on them.
Yeah.
And say, hey, how are you doing? Especially after this psychedelic experience last time,
Right.
Like the week after, I just wanted to call everybody and make sure they were doing okay.
Yeah. And did you?
Yeah, I did.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of what to say to religious people that think this is so evil.
Yeah.
Like it's they say you are connecting. Their leaders tell them this.
Sure.
Psychedelics connect you to the lower realms. They connect you to the spirit of Satan.
Right.
And I think maybe there's possibly truth to that if you did the psychedelic experience in that kind of a mood. If you were watching something horrible and did psychedelics, maybe that would happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to go to a dark place, and I guess my rebuttal, and that's the beautiful thing about I think psychedelics is that it gives you the ability to see other people's point of view and say, and in your world that's true, right? And it is true for you.
Yeah.
right? It's true for them that this is of the devil,
Right.
But, and Matt showed me this beautiful example. If you take three circles, right, and three different sizes, right, but you flip them to where all you see is a small line, bigger line, bigger line.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I'm looking at 3 lines, and that's 3 lines, right? But I look over here, that's 3 circles. Well, this is 3 circles. You see this? Right?
Right.
Well, this person's looking at 3 lines, and he's right too. Right? So,
but one person sees the bigger picture. No?
not
You don't like that.
like it's complicated because everybody has their different point of view on the information that they've been given,
Yes.
right? And so in their minds, this takes you to the devil, right? Well, yeah, you can have scary experiences, but I challenge people that even your scariest ones, you're learning from them, right?
Yeah.
And you're learning to change your mindset. You can go to a dark place, right? But then you can also come back out of it and say, okay, I don't want skulls and death and blood and whatever. I want beautiful geometry. I want pyramids. I want, the flower of life, right?
Uh-huh.
These different sacred symbols that are tied to all of us.
Yeah.
Right? And through these experiences, I've realized that we are God. All of us are, I guess you look at like little sunbeams, right? Time back to the Mormon stuff, right?
Yeah.
We are souls on our existence, following our path, following our intuition. Be it, some people will never do psychedelics, and that's okay. They're following their path.
Yes.
Right? Some people will connect to this through meditation, through breath work, which releases and activates DMT in your brain.
Uh-huh.
Right? And some people will use psychedelics to follow their path and be guides within the space, or just do it once and you're good.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess my challenge to them would be take a look at how these laws have failed, right? And also look at within ourselves
How what?
how these laws have prevented us from connecting,
Oh.
right? And have, I was listening to some stuff on
You mean like the laws against drugs?
the laws against drugs, right?
Yeah.
Because there's, just like us, right? We have the capability to do evil. We have the capability to do good, right? We always try to do good, but doggone it, sometimes,
Yeah.
you cheat on your taxes, or you try to get out of a speeding ticket. And is that evil? Is that a little shady? Right? We have the capability, right? And I believe that the label of drugs has been put on things that are medicines,
Uh-huh.
right? Cannabis used properly, not abused, can be absolutely healing and beautiful, right? It can be used within the shamanic space, right? I believe that these substances are not by mistake. Like, we created them. God created them in order for us to bridge that gap between this reality and the spirit world, and find that balance, right? So I guess my biggest thing to them is God is everything, right?
Yeah.
It's the darkest of the dark. It's the lightest of the light. It's everything,
Yeah.
and everything between.
And I totally know. Tons of people that have done psychedelics come away saying we are God, kind of a thing. And I had this mushroom trip, and I was sitting on that couch actually, and I was trying to figure out how you gain wealth, and things like that.
I
And
have a rich uncle.
yeah. Anyway, I was thinking about the law of attraction, and if you have to get things, or if you have to chase things, or if you simply were living right, maybe you could just have things if you were thinking right or whatever.
Right.
And this voice was telling me, you are God. It was telling me, you don't walk out of that door anymore. You don't go to do anything anymore without the realization that you are God and things work out for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I'm God, then what about everybody else? Do I want to hurt them if they're threatening me? And they said, no, you don't understand. They are you. Because if you hurt them, you'd be hurting you.
Yeah, exactly. And I had an experience where I had the realization that all of the hardship, all of the death, all the destruction that has ever happened on this realm of existence, right, is meant to teach us, right? And death isn't the end. It's not. Like, I believe that eventually we started out as one and created this existence and all the different fragments and of all of existence, from, you know, you had ancient cultures and advanced stuff. You go to Machu Picchu and you see the stones cut. They're just perfect. If I had a hammer drill for 100,000 years, I wouldn't be able to make it. Right? Just magical stuff, right? The pyramids, all these different things. The questions of gosh, I don't know. They built this with stone and chisel stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some stuff that's, you know, Göbekli Tepe, you know, like there's some stuff that we can't explain, right? The
ancient civilizations.
Absolutely. You know, Graham Hancock and all those guys, you know.
Yeah, that maybe were more advanced than we are.
Absolutely. We're capable of so much more. We've been so limited and controlled and programmed by the television and the programming
Television, huh?
That's on there, right? I don't know. I look back at I watched this movie K-Pax, right? It's from like 2001. It's Kevin Spacey in it. And there were a couple different scenes where I'm like, that is indoctrination right there. Guy was ignoring his wife and they weren't connecting, but it taught young men that, you ignore your wife, it's fine, that's what normal guys do.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, how many people were influenced by that and they didn't know they were influenced by it and didn't listen to their wives because subconsciously they had that as an example of what to do.
Yeah.
You know, you're cool Jeff Bridges, and you're a psychologist that's trying to talk to this guy that's from another place, and all, you know, I won't go down to the whole story of it, but I recognized in there little bits of programming, right? And it's in everything. You know, so.
Yeah. I guess to some degree, no matter where you go, you're being programmed.
Oh yeah, you look well, and it's beautiful marketing, right? Because we have energy fields in us, right? Our chakras. We have 7 chakras going from here, you know, down here to up here, right? And the colors of them are red, orange, purple, going on up, right? But if you look, and red and yellow are our lowest ones that are tied to this existence, right? To you know, the need of money and all the different things that we have here, right? Well, if you look at the lettering at KFC, McDonald's, all these different things, they're red, basically red and orange, right? That draws you to that lower vibration of existence, right? It's not high vibrational food, right? You know, if you go to like a fancy restaurant and they bring out this, you know, organic, high vibration, beautiful food, right?
So what were you saying? There's energy fields?
Yeah. So just almost like a Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah.
We have energy fields that are tied to tied to everything, right? So your first 4 are tied to your DNA. They're tied to the codes that make us up. It's also tied to northeast.
Are these measurable or?
Yeah. We can take a pendulum and I can see. It will, if it's set right, if your chakra is set right, it will rotate clockwise, right? If you're out of order, it will rotate counterclockwise.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So we can do it. If
Yeah.
You want.
Okay.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
So I probably have something in the truck we could measure it, but through training and ceremonies, I've been taught how to.
Because you're kind of a shaman.
I work within the shamanic space.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like, I guess baggage tied to the word shaman, and
because it's supposed to be considered like a South American thing, or
well, it actually came from Russia. Russia
is?
Yeah, shaman is basically a spiritual leader, and it's been tied to, when we say the word shaman, we think of a South American dude, feathers and all that doing magic, right? But every culture, from Jews to Gentiles to I listened to a book, Mortality Key, and the Origin of Religion. I think that's when it was in
the Immortality Key.
Yeah, well, there's another book called Psychedelics, The Origin of Religion. It really...
The Psychedelic Origin?
It's called Psychedelics, The Origin of Religion.
Oh, Psychedelics, The Origins of Religion.
Yeah, The Origin of Religion. And it talks about how all these the beginnings of all these different groups, from Jewish to Hindu to Buddhist to all of them, right? Their foundation was in mysticism, was in the connecting to the other side and connecting with nature and using the tools of nature to heal us, right? And we've gotten so far away from that into pharmaceuticals and stuff that messes up our stomachs, and you look at how sick everybody is, right? How we're not healthy. And it started, I think back when they founded the Federal Reserve, and we only go down some conspiracy facts, but we've had a war on the use of herbal remedies, right? And we replaced it with oil-based stuff, Standard Oil, all that stuff, right? But it has made that stuff quackery, and my mom, was a big pusher of it. I thought she was a quack. She was a little bit, but I'm beginning to find out that she was on the right path, right? We need to return to natural remedies,
yes,
and being more connected with nature, and healing ourselves and getting away from those low vibration type of things and into fasting, meditation, and appreciating our very existence in the life that we have, right? And finding the path for our higher selves.
Painted on a doorway on Mount Athos in Greece, it says, "If you die before you die, you will not die when you die." When I came to this psychedelic experience with you guys, then I died, and I wanted to ask, why does it say that over there, and why is death why do you need to die on psychedelics? Because I'm still trying to process the experience I had.
Yeah.
And that was insane. I truly died. Yeah. I thought I was dying.
Yeah. Then you thought we were going to kill you. Yeah. A bunch of big military guys. No, dude, we're here to help you. We love you.
Yeah. That was insane.
Yeah.
Well, that was after I woke up.
Yeah.
But no, like when I was dying, I felt like my whole intestines were failing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, this is how it is when somebody's in the hospital and they're fighting for their life.
Yeah.
They can see their body struggling.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And everything, like my arms were tensing up, and like I was just dying.
No, you go through it. You go through it. But I believe that it's to take energy away from, like we have such this huge thing. Oh, don't, and you look at through movies, right? Don't die, right? Well, death should be celebrated as much as life, right? Because this isn't the end. Like, we are immortal. We are beings of light, dude. And so this shows you that that death isn't the end, right? that it's all going to be okay. And that's faith in God, dude. That's true faith. All right, boss, whenever it's my time, it's my time. And that could be an hour from now, or it could be, 40 years from now. Right? But it will be the time. Everything is as it should be. It's as it should be, as God planned it. Right? And so it takes the energy, it takes that fear away. Because fear and shame are the things that are stopping us. Right? And if we know that we're not going to die when we die, that just unlocks us. Unlocks us and gives us the ability to go and do service and great things in this earth and shed out the darkness and know it's there, and we can go into that space and do work and do sacred things to put people's souls back together, right? Because we had to go to dark places in order to get parts of our soul pulled away. But we need to go to those dark places and not be scared and bring back those pieces of our soul that we've lost, right, through traumatic events. But it's all part of the lessons. This existence is here to train us and to learn, right? We're here to learn.
Yeah. Religion. If you sit in religion now, you get bored. No? Well, I do. I get bored.
Yeah.
And I think that, well, what this saying, it's I think it's on St. Paul's monastery. And that's crazy,
So, with that mortality key, go ahead.
I was just going to say this saying, if you die before you die, you will not die when you die. That is there's not a more psychedelic saying.
Right.
Like if it says that somewhere,
Can we take a potty break?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so we're talking about dying before you die?
Yeah. I was just saying it's such a psychedelic saying to be right there.
Yeah.
But also, the sacrament, Jesus said something like, take this wine and it'll be my blood, and take this bread and it'll be my body.
Right.
But it just seems to me like sacrament has become it's so insane. If you didn't know about Jesus or anything, mm-hmm. and you just saw people taking the sacrament, you'd be like, these guys are so weird, And part of me wonders if they would do these, because sacrament means mystery. The word sacrament means mystery. And part of me wonders if they would, early Christians would do these psychedelic experiences. Yeah. And then it slowly just went away, or...
Well, I think, I believe that it's all about power, right? They had these different people from Aristotle to, I personally believe Jesus Christ did psychedelics, right?
Yeah.
And it's convenient that we're missing 20 years of his life, right? And yet there's proof that he went to India and Tibet and did these different spiritual things, but we want to erase those lives. We don't know much about those 20 years, He was off doing spiritual stuff, and we don't want to talk about that because it takes away our control, and realize that people can connect to God without having a big fancy church, right? We can connect to Source, to our higher selves, which is God, by the use of these psychedelics in beautiful ceremonies that we've been doing for thousands and thousands of years across all the cultures.
Yeah, the book that you were saying, the Immortality Key, basically argues that the Greek heritage basically was doing psychedelics, and it almost makes it seem like Christianity came along and stole it.
Yeah, well, and they they used to do the sacrament with a beer, right? That had hints of ergot in it. Well, the basis of LSD is the ergot fungus, right? So they had these spiritual experiences that connected them to the other side. They saw that their path, everybody from Alexander the Great to Aristotle, all these different ancient people that have brought amazing things to us, right? That wasn't by chance. That was them using psychedelics, seeing what they need to do, and following their path. And we have these beautiful examples from Marcus Aurelius that they were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
Right? They came up with, the rules of democracy, of all these different things. Those came from the use of psychedelics. And God's or Jesus' flesh was mushrooms. There's pictures of Jesus in the catacombs with mushrooms coming off him. There's pictures of
In Greece or
in Rome.
Oh, okay.
Right? They've found some old paintings. Jesus had mushrooms all around him. Right? The Egyptians had baskets of mushrooms that they brought out along with blue lotus. Blue lotus is another psychedelic that the compound has DMT in it. Right? That can connect you to other dimensions. It's absolutely magical, right? But these ancient cultures were using these things to elevate their vibration, elevate their spirit, right? And we are them, they are us. We're all connected.
Yeah.
Right? And this is I believe, humanity's. You look at you think about. Thousands and thousands of years that we've been failing and succeeding, right? And just the expansion of consciousness and the physical expansion of us going all over the world, right? All over this existence. And it's the greatest story ever told, right? Like you think about all the different wonderful, dark, beautiful, horrible things that we've all come up with. Right, and it's everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, because you hear this argument often that Western civilization is built on the morality of God, of Jesus, of Christians, of Judaism. I wonder if it's more off. Because every person that does these psychedelic experiences, most of them, they come away wanting to be more kind to the world. There's beings there that tell you need to be more kind to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure? And these are they are real religious experiences. They're not wondering if they're there. You're not.
Right.
You're experiencing it.
Absolutely.
And that is such a big difference between modern religion. You could say psychedelics might be true religion. I don't know.
I think so. It's where we all came from. It's the foundation, right? We all started as one, and then we branched out these different cultures, different ways of doing things, right? But I believe we're all connected. And actually, I want to touch on that. So I believe the psychedelics were the original sacrament, right? And we could feel and see God's presence, right? What we envision it to be, right? And they sort of did a bait and switch with that, right? To try to channel people to be controlled through reading, right? But connecting to God through reading the Bible, right? And praying, and that's beautiful. If you can connect to God via that channel, awesome.
Sure, right? And that might be a good thing to do.
Yeah. But to really know and feel in your soul and your spirit that everything's going to be okay, that this is all part of it, that that whatever happens is supposed to happen. And I have 100% faith that, I that if people close to me in my life died tomorrow, I would understand that it's part of the plan. Mm-hmm. And I know that they're okay. I know that I will see them again, that we will come back together. So I know, it's part of the plan.
Yeah. So the worst tragedy that cannot happen, when it happens, you're okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like it is taking the energy of death away from me. Right? I know that it's part of the plan, and we will understand what that part of darkness, right, that we see as darkness, that may being murdered, or what have you, right, that we have to look at the silver lining of why that happened, right, and the benefits, an orphaned kid, right, you look at the challenges and the mental fortitude that they have to build in order to be successful. That's a beautiful pressure cooker to make somebody be something, right? To develop them as a human, right? If they choose to.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say, humans need adversity, they need challenges, and we need to look at those deaths as not a curse, but as a blessing in a way that we can push through adversity and become better. That's the silver lining. Man.
Yeah.
And being grateful for the time that we had with that person.
Yeah, death is like the foundation of all religion, basically. If you didn't die, we wouldn't need religion, I guess. Because that's what everybody's scared of.
Yeah.
And to me, death bothers me quite a bit.
Sure.
Maybe not in the sense that I'm scared of it, but just the idea of it.
Yeah.
Trying to understand why,
Yeah.
But I don't like death for some reason.
Yeah.
And I guess nobody does, but
no,
I guess to the degree that I try to understand it.
Yeah.
Could you think about this mortality, if you're almost in a car crash? Yeah. It's like time slows down.
Yeah.
To the point where 3 seconds, they take a long time.
Yeah.
And then you miss it. And you start thinking
right.
twice about everything.
Absolutely.
Is that kind of what religion is our reflection on death? Well, it's the control that everybody has. They're worried about death. I mean, when I was in the FLDS, I was just about to leave.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I just wasn't, my mind wasn't quite free enough, but I was basically going to leave. I was doing all these things I shouldn't. And then my brother died. And for 2 years, I was like, or at least a year, I was like, I have to stay. Like, that's a wake-up call.
My brothers and sisters and the community that I grew up in. It's tough to leave.
Well, it's God's wake-up call to me. Like, we're going to be damned. And I was almost to go down this horrible path.
Yeah.
And then he dies. And I come back. Like, death is what controls us. So I guess that's probably what I should be taking from my experience, right?
Yeah.
Of dying on psychedelics. It's like death controls us, and it controls the fear of death. Makes us not live to the degree that we could.
Right.
Makes us not be the people that we could be.
Yeah. I think fear and shame are well, they're great teachers, right? Like it's kept us alive. We stay in that cave, right? It's like the Croods, right?
Yeah.
Dad was always trying to stay in the cave, right? But in order for us to grow, in order for us to push through that adversity and become better beings and learn from death and see the silver lining, right? That's where our spirit grows, and we realize that all these beautiful life lessons that, that this isn't the end, man. This is I believe life is a being here on earth right now, wherever we're at, right? This is the PhD level of spiritual tests, right? It's this life.
Huh.
And we're here to learn. We're here to appreciate and be grateful, and not fear and not have any shame, right? Because we are built in the image of God, right? So why aren't we God?
Yeah.
Right? We are God, dude. We all are, and that's why we need to look at every single person, right? Be it homeless or rich or whatever, right? As they're on their journey, and there's a part of them that we can appreciate and love and be grateful for the experience that they gave us, right? Be it that guy that stole your car or whatever, right?
Thanks.
Thanks, dude. What lesson am I learning from this one? Gosh, why did I pick this, right? And another, I guess, life lesson that helps me to push through adversity is to know that I picked this, right?
Yeah.
Before this life, we knew that we were going to do a podcast together, right? We knew that we were going to be in ceremony together. We chose this path, right? So why? Why?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out here in a couple of years. Everything, right?
You brought me this rock.
Yeah.
And one of the things about this whole space I've noticed is people are very mystic, and they believe in the energies everywhere.
Yeah.
They believe everything is not a coincidence.
Right.
I'm still struggling. I don't totally believe this.
Yeah.
I know a lot of psychedelic people do.
Yeah.
But I'm one of these guys that's like, okay, no, I like the rock, right?
Sure.
But
And that's why we're talking about it.
yeah. I like the rock. I like the idea and the theories, but I'm not one to live by them. Like I'm not out here being like, okay, where's my next sign? How can I get energy from this situation? Well, I kind of do that, but
You probably do it. You don't realize you do it.
to what degree do you look for signs?
Oh, every day. Every day.
So this is fundamental to you.
Absolutely. 100%.
Can you give me an example of?
Sure.
Okay.
So the other day, had two things happen. Things happen all the time. Anyways, I had two different signs that I believe were pushed at me to give me a heads up of a transformation in my life, right? So I was dating this gal, and beautiful relationship, just fire, just love each other, right? But there were a couple of things on my life and her life that didn't quite go together. And right before we did this experience together, I saw four big male elk right by Copperton. I've seen elk. This is the second time I've seen elk in 4 years there. Like, you don't see them very often.
Yeah.
Let alone four big bulls,
Uh-huh.
right? I'm like, holy cow. So I look up, every time I see, like a group of turkeys or deer or elk or something, like, hey, why are you here? Right? Just oddities, right?
Yeah.
I'll look it up, right? And that day, I I'd seen a dead dragonfly that was like right in front of me, you know, and this and these elk, right?
Yeah.
And I look up both of these, and it was like, big transformation, be careful, blah blah blah, right? Well, we have this experience, and it was a rough one. It was tough, right? And I won't go into all of it, but it was tough, and we ended up breaking up because I believe the universe was pushing us in different directions. That I need to go down my path of shamanism and doing the spiritual work, right?
Yeah.
And she needs to go on her path, and I made her life better. She made my life better. It was beautiful. Pretty much exactly 1 year, right? August 8th to August 8th. Right, and August 8th's a Lionsgate portal thing, and I never heard about the Lionsgate portal energy, this or that, but it's real. It's real. It's the energies that are around us that we are all connected to, whether we realize it or not. So,
Yeah.
that sort of.
Yeah. So, what am I supposed to make? I sometimes have this absolute fire in me about religion,
Right.
and people's views on religion. And it's not something I'm especially choosing to have,
Yeah.
I could say. You could even say, I've tried to push it aside.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to make of that? You know, a disappointment in people's mindset and belief about religion. Do you think that is just
I think you're
the inner struggle
Well-
of my past?
Absolutely. Well, I think it's mirroring too, right? Because sometimes we do the very thing that pisses us off.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We judge somebody about their religion. We don't like to be judged about our religion,
Right.
right? And we don't want and you know, I've lost a lot of friends over this. Like they just sort of go distant, right? Because I feel a fiery need to try to get as many people into this and feel the healing and awaken people spiritually to see the truth and see that we've been all of it, right? To see the truth of this existence,
Yeah.
right? But people are ready when they're ready, not when I could talk to people till I'm blue in the face, right, about psychedelics and how amazing they are and scary and all of it,
Yeah.
right? But that's not going to change their path, their intuition, right? So really, when people are ready to step forward, they'll step forward.
Yeah. And even like, it's not even that I want people to do psychedelics or anything.
Right. Well,
I don't care what they do. I just don't like I don't like how close-minded they are to any new idea.
Yeah. So I was in an airport coming back from Colombia, and I saw this. It was after I thought everybody knew COVID was a scam, and I had this like serious heartache with the whole face diaper stuff, and that was a total inside job control op. Like they did it on purpose. Right?
Uh-huh.
And masks don't work. And anyways, conspiracy facts. Gotcha. Anyways. But I saw this lady wearing a mask, and I'm like, how is she wearing a mask still? This is absolutely stupid. What are you doing? Right? I was pissed off because she was doing something that she believed in.
Yeah.
Right? And I voiced this concern with Matt, and Matt's like, everybody's on their journey, man. Like, she believes that that's the right thing to do. And who are you to judge her about that, about her the way that she's conducting herself? I'm like, oh. Wow. Okay. It just sort of hit me. It's like I'm judging people all over the place because they don't believe the way I do, right?
Yeah, I think.
And I'm persecuting them and sending them bad energy because I don't agree with their face mask. Who cares? If If you want to wear a face mask, wear a face mask. You know, you want to have a lack of oxygen and not be able to purify your body. It's your call, dude. I hope that you learn from it.
Yeah, so basically you're saying instead of feeling angry that somebody won't view things your way or just even view them any other way than the dumbass way they view them.
But see, they could be saying the same thing about us, right?
Sure.
I connect to God through meditation. You have to do all these massive amount of psychedelics in order to do it. What's wrong with you? You know?
Yeah. Okay, but it's not that I don't connect to God any other way. But I guess my connection to God, like, yeah, psychedelics improves it, but it's not like always doing psychedelics.
Right. I think you can go on a hike with your sons and just view the beautiful nature without having any kind of substance tied to it, and you can feel the spirits of creation.
Yeah. So back to this mindset thing. If I feel flustered at somebody, then maybe it's just something I'm trying to learn. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've found that if I get something that upsets me, and dude, I get upset all the time, dude. Like, stuff bugs me. I'm human, right?
Yeah.
But if I pause and I just take a look at it, why am I getting upset about this? This is stupid. If I take an internal look at myself, and it really takes the energy away from it, takes that harshness away, and then we can get communicating, right, with people that have different points of view.
Yeah.
And it opens up that, hey, help me understand why are you okay? Why are you still wearing a mask? Or help me understand what's going on here. Like, what's your thought pattern here? I mean, I'm trying to understand this.
Yeah.
You come at it as in a way of seeking knowledge and understanding their point of view. It will break down those barriers, and you'll go, oh, okay, I see where you're going at.
Yeah.
You know?
I can unleash
And like
on
I said,
some religious people. But I do feel like before, a lot of times I spend like 20 days listening to their bullshit.
You're about done with them.
Yeah. Well, 20 days like reasoning and understanding.
Right.
But yeah, for sure, people do not do things that make sense.
No, and my brother and I, who introduced me to DMT, he has some different views on stuff, and we'll get going back and forth, and we'll finally get to a point where I'm like, dude, I love you. I love you so much, dude. I disagree with you completely, but dude, you're my brother, and I love our relationship, and when you stop talking about this, because I'm getting pissed. But that he knows that if we get to the point where I'm like, I love you, dude. Dude, I love you so much. We need to stop talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? What is your ideal view of the religious landscape? Say, whatever is going on right now. It's like it's messed up. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. Like, we're at the end of a lot of religions, I feel like.
The latter days.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think the ideal religious landscape looks like?
I think ideal is an acceptance of everybody's point of view, and I believe eventually we'll get to a point where psychedelics will be welcome in the temple. In the LDS temples.
You think
and
so?
We will serve medicine in sacred spaces there. And it will be a reunification of religion, right? And we will shed these past traumas, past blockages of rigid thought of this is the only way. And we'll expand into all of the different patterns of thought, all of consciousness, everything. And we'll have a beautiful spiritual awakening reunion with what life is all about and why we had to go through all of this stuff, right? I think that's that's going to be the point where we all come back together and realize why this journey had to happen, why we chose to be in this existence, how every other culture, religion, faith, lack of faith, all of it, we're all connected. We're all brothers and sisters. And we're going to come back to one. That's the oneness, a pure Zen, an understanding of everything, of all knowing. God's all knowing, right?
Yeah.
Well, what better way for God to be all knowing than to live every bit of existence from an aborted child to a 110-year-old man and everything in between, right?
Yeah.
That's all knowing, right? Everything. And like I said, everything in between.
Do you really believe that the LDS will get to that point?
I hope so. I really hope so.
That would be insane.
It would be beautiful. Because it will shed barriers, right? And show us that even the wildest shaman in South America that can purge lizards and frogs out of people, right, is connected to an LDS bishop or stake president or prophet, right? We want the same hopefully we want the same for all of humanity, is to realize the truth and realize that we're all connected, and we're connected to that tree out there that has a spirit to it, has a soul to it.
Yeah, I always have believed trees are alive, and
Yeah.
it feels good to be by them.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think it's a beautiful blend of doctrine and nature and life, and also taking accountability for. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about, I think once we all understand that we've lived all of these different existences, all of these different lives, as a persecutor and as a person getting murdered, right? We've lived all these things. We'll understand, right? And realize that we're flawed. We have darkness to us, right? In our deepest pockets of wherever within us, right? We've done some horrible, atrocious stuff, right? But I think once we have that higher plane of consciousness and accept that, you know what? Yeah, we were the guy on top of the temple that killed 80,000 people in one day, right? Slitting throats to offer to the gods, right? We were Adolf Hitler that exterminated a lot of people, right? Had a lot to do with that, right? And take accountability for that as a community. But we also, did amazing things, and our quality of life is so much better, and we live in an amazing time where I can jump on my little screen and order pizza or order this or,
Yeah. I
can do pay, whatever, right? From this little teeny screen that I'm walking all over the world with.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
And a lot of our technology might have more to do with the ideas from psychedelics than people can imagine.
100%. Well, it's like energy work, right? I know people, a guy in our group blew his knee out completely, and the doctors were like, yeah, you're never going to walk, let alone jump on a trampoline. He tried to do like a triple somersault thing and landed his knee, right?
Uh-huh.
He did energy work on himself, and he's walking, and he's good.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he rebuilt his knee using energy. Right? He healed himself.
Yeah, there's all these stories of Jesus doing that.
Absolutely. And I believe Jesus was tied into the same energy that psychedelics. I believe that Jesus Christ was a psychonaut. He used psychedelics, and that's why the Romans killed him, because they took away control. Like, how big of a controversy would it be if these churches lost control because these people were connecting to God and seeing that there's so many lies and measures of control put in place, right, to indoctrinate and control the masses, right?
Yes.
But if God is within and we can connect to it right here in your living room, that takes everything away from that, right? But there's got to be a balance, and there's got to be accountability. The universe demands balance, right?
Yeah,
you pour water in your tub, it's going to level out, right? And it's the same thing within our lives. If we're not in balance, right, eventually the universe is going to hit you in the head and say, hey, you need to be back in balance if this is all going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm not the best practitioner of that. I have places in my life that are out of balance, and I'm doing my best, damn it.
Yeah.
Life's tough. and I'm stubborn and hard-headed, but I'm getting better,
Yeah. When you have a psychedelic experience, do you take the literal meaning of it, or do you kind of have to think about it for a couple days? And because some of the things I've had and experienced, I'm thinking about it for a few days, like, how literal should I take that?
Yeah. So you died before you die, right?
Yeah.
So if you look back at some of the like Tibetan beliefs, Tibetan people believe, or sort of read this somewhere. I'm sure not all Tibetan people believe this, but there's a belief that after you die, you're reincarnated after 49 days, right? You go through and you do a life review of the life you lived before, and then review your new life and what you're supposed to do, and then go into it blindly, coming out of mama, right? So it's the same thing with psychedelics, right? So you need to take at least 30 days, maybe up to 49 days, before you step forward and make a major life decision, right? And so that gives you time to sort out and look at the meanings, what meanings that you are taking from that experience, and what you need to do, right? If I'm going to Peru and I'm going to live there, right? Well, if you don't have stuff planned out and a game plan, sometimes you end up homeless on the streets of Peru, which isn't a good place to be.
Right.
Or you make connections down there and you go work for shamans or whatever you're going to do, whatever your life calls to. We caution, if you're coming out of a psychedelic experience, that you take the time to integrate, really take a soft look at yourself, grace, and sort out those different things that came through, that pinged with you.
Yeah.
Right. And you'll find, man, like with the ayahuasca in Colombia in 2023, I'm still picking up little glimmers of meaning from that. Right? Because it's layered, just like we are. It's a 20-year-old kid has picked up probably 5 or 6 different traumatic events and the scars from that, and shedding those and re-looking at your life takes some time, So take it, at least 30 days before you go off and make a bigger decision and make sure that you're on the right path.
Yeah. I guess kind of one of the things I was thinking about when asking that was on that same mushroom trip that I did on this couch, where I was saying that voice was telling me, you're God. And then, explaining to me, then the same voice was telling me that I was trying to win some spiritual war with my dad. And so I decided the way to win it was to be born to him. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to think of that. I don't know what to make of it. You know what I'm saying? And they're basically saying, now you won. And they were telling me he's not just in prison, he's in spiritual prison. And I didn't know what that meant. But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't believing everything they were saying. I was just trying to think of what to make of it. That's the thing. I think a lot of people think when you do a psychedelic experience, they think you're going to come away crazy, truly believing everything. It's like, no, you can just think about it. It's just like another person might have told you something.
Right.
But yeah, so like what do you think I should think about those things?
Take a look at it and pray about it, and body, like, you can do what's called a muscle test, where I can teach after the podcast, but basically your body knows, your spirit knows what you need and what path you need to follow. And so if you check in, face north, and ask your spirit, ask for guidance, and you can just do as simple as a yes or a no, right? Your body will lean forward into yes, and it'll back up into no.
Yeah.
Right? And you start out with, I am male, and your body leans forward. And I am female, and body leans backward, and then go from there. But also realize that sometimes our personal
experience,
biases, and experience tie into that. So you have to say, okay, am I doing this because I like donuts? I'm an inner fat kid,
Yeah. But, that voice, they were telling me that they told me, or I told them to tell me this after I was born. And I laughed.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not believe it. And
Why?
they said, I don't know why. I was just like, because it's, if I was to sit here and say, oh, I believe this, I would feel crazy. You know?
A lot of, like...
and I don't want to do that.
No, I'm with you.
And so I was telling them, I don't believe you. And they said, well, you said to tell you, what do you want us to do? I said, if I really told you, then keep telling me. But if not, then we're going to let it go.
What sort of ties back into what we're talking about, right? With the 49 days that you plan out your life. And maybe that's part of your plan, that you talked to one of your ancestors that were there and said, hey, when I get to this point, remind me. Right? That I did choose this, that I was born from my father to have these different experiences, to have this different perspective. Because, I mean, what, like, being in that frying pan of religious, in that space, like, that's a unique experience, right? Like, how many people are in the FLDS church?
There was about 12,000, but now there's probably only like 5.
Okay. Like, that's a very small population, and for you to specifically pick that route, like, you chose that, man. Your dad chose that, his dad, all the way down the line.
Yeah, so you have this belief that, for example, you said me and you chose to do this podcast.
Yeah.
We chose all these things. Do you think we really chose all these little things, or do you think we just chose to come here in the situation we did, and then kind of life happens after that? I mean, we learn whatever we learn.
I initially had the thought that, that it's just sort of random, but like, any more, like, every little thing that happens, I'm like, I wonder what that means. Right? What am I supposed to learn from this? Right? But it puts up your spidey senses, where you're like, okay, how am I supposed to react to this? Right? Am I supposed to react to it in the way that I've always done it, where I get mad and blow up at people? Or somebody spills milk, or whatever happens. And I'm just like, okay, well, you need some help? You good? Yeah, as opposed to getting mad about stuff and putting in dark energy. And because the way that we react to people, the way that we interact with people, the way that we interact, and the way that we carry ourselves has an effect on everybody around us and layers out, right? So me getting mad at my son about spilling the milk or whatever, right? Wrecking the car, whatever happened in his life, right? Can have an effect on him or her 10 years from now in their decision-making process in a situation, right? When they don't even realize that, I don't even realize that me yelling at the kids for spilling the milk or wrecking the car or whatever has an effect on their decision 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But it does. So like little things, it's all connected.
Yeah.
It's all connected.
So
that's why I believe it. I could be wrong.
okay. Yeah.
You know, it's like those lines and circles, right?
Right.
It's how you look at it.
Yeah. I guess I just don't know if I want to believe in that level of predestiny, you know?
Yeah. Why not, though?
I guess probably because I come from religion where I did believe in God and everything to such a degree that it was just insane to
Right.
come out of.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing whatever I want. It truly was an insane experience.
Yeah, I bet.
It's almost like being born in it is, I guess, like being born in a cage or something. And you grow up believing that's the world. And then one day somebody lets you out.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Am I in another cage?
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, I like to go down those like rabbit holes and think about, okay, well, maybe in your past life you were a heathen and just out of control and then end everything, or, you know, and so as you went into this one, you're like, I need some structure. Let me fill this out. Let me start here, and then I go here, and then I'm going to learn this, and then I'm going to expand, and then I'm going to come back and then find the balance in between of having religion and also being a free spirit.
Yeah.
Right. And being spiritual and seeing how those two match up. Because I think there's a space for all religions and all faiths and all of existence, but we need to accept and bring into the fold everybody.
Yeah.
Even especially people that disagree with us, right? Because I think
Yeah.
once that energy comes back together, we all come back together. We're going to be like, okay, I understand why I killed you that one time. I'm sorry. You know, you had it coming. You were doing this or that. You were shooting at my family. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah.
And it's been beautiful. I've a good friend of mine had to kill a kid that was shooting.
Right. Yeah.
And
in Afghanistan or
and
something.
he'd been haunted by this kid for like 15 years. Like he'd go to the grocery store and he's like, it's a bullet hole in his head, just hanging out by the cereal. Hey Jeff, how's it going, man? Right?
Yeah.
Well, in this first ceremony, he was able to go in and make peace with that young man and let it go, let that energy go.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how do you put a price on that? Right?
Yeah.
Figure out the horrors in your mind and process it and let it go. Like that's priceless, dude.
Yeah, it is.
So
Because I guess a big thing for me was I've tried a lot of therapy, and I don't like it until like some of the psychedelic stuff and more hands-on retreats and things I've done that aren't psychedelic, just
right.
and things like that. Those are the kind of healing things that have helped me. Any of this, sit down with a therapist and talk, it triggers the hell out of me. I feel like going off on those therapists with some logic.
It's finding the balance in between, right? I think therapists have a definite place, but psychedelic assisted therapy has been magical. Dated a gal who was a LCSW and
What's that?
licensed clinical social worker,
Oh.
and she had this. She was telling about EMDR.
Okay, what is EMDR?
It's basically tapping.
Oh, yeah.
And to reinforce, and apologize if I'm not doing look it up, folks. Anyways,
Yeah.
basically it's a method to talk through memories, and then using tapping, you can basically change those memories, take the emotion out of it.
Uh-huh.
And so we did a session and used MDMA in part of the process, and it was healing. It was wonderful. Like I had really bad motion sickness, and she guided me into seeing the first time that I felt like I got motion sick, and it was this Ferris wheel. Those those round ones on playgrounds.
Yeah.
Probably before you were born, but they were little death traps, and like kids would get their heads twisted off. Anyways, it was bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm on one of these, and this guy is just whirling it, and I'm, and then for whatever reason, my dad didn't stop him. He was following his intuition, right? And I got flinged off this thing, threw up on myself, and it was just, right? Traumatic event. And we were able to go back into it and turn the death wheel into a bright red, shiny chrome thing that was beautiful and had no bad energy to it.
Mm-hmm.
And since then I'll still throw up on a plane once in a while if it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10 I get a little turbulence. I'm good. And just refocus and focus on the nice shiny red Ferris wheel instead of the death trap that threw me off into the dirt.
You keep saying he's following his intuition. Even when somebody's doing something bad, when they're doing something evil, you say they're following their intuition. I am obsessed with intuition in myself and other people, because I believe, for example, I believed that my dad was really good at hijacking people's intuition. People say there's a God and that God is guiding their intuition. And I believe that if you understand this stuff enough, you can influence other people's intuition. You could consider that bad. But I do believe like this about my dad. He had major influence over a lot of people's intuition.
Absolutely.
He had big influence over my intuition for sure.
Intuition. I'm old.
Okay, yeah.
I drink too much water.
You're good.
Intuition. Good and evil.
Yeah.
What we perceive as good and evil, I guess.
Yeah, so back to intuition. My dad, he really did have control over like our intuition.
Yeah.
And I guess mine anyway. And I do believe you can hijack somebody's intuition.
Yeah.
But your idea of intuition is, okay, they chose to do something evil before they came here. They're going to follow their intuition. They're going to feel that thing is right. I've always been fascinated by evil things sometimes feel right.
Well,
And
yeah.
I don't think that means you should follow it or anything. But if your idea is right, then that evil intuition will become so strong that you'll do something evil.
That's a deep one, dude. I mean, if you look at... the Taliban thought they were right?
Right.
We thought we were right? Right? Japanese thought they were right.
Right.
World War II. Right? But...
People that did human sacrifices thought they were right.
Yeah.
All kinds of evil is justified by people's intuition. the Daybell case that happened where they murdered, they thought they were doing right. That whole situation with that YouTuber Mormon lady, I forgot her name, where she was hurting her kids and tying them up. She was doing that because it was right. I mean, all these things, people are doing it because a lot of them, and I genuinely believe this, they truly believe they're doing something right. And that's why they'll stand up after it's all said and done and said, this is why I did it. You know?
Yeah. I believe that all of these instances where we have these horrible things that happen, right, they're lessons to be learned, and they're tied to past lives where, you know, maybe they were murdered and they have to murder now. Like, it's all relative. It's all connected, right? I had this is kind of, if I'm sure that one. It is all intuition, and we are following it, right? And somebody doing something that we perceive as evil, but if you look at the ripple effects, right? Like, maybe it made a father turn around and appreciate his family, right? From the example of that, right? Maybe it made him take a look at his kids closer to where one of the kids didn't fall off a cliff or whatever, because he was focused on his kids. So, yes, there's horrible shit that happens, but we have to look at, okay, what were the bigger picture of this, right? How did it affect this or this? And maybe that kid being saved off the cliff is they're going to go and make the next great thing or start the next movement that is going to enlighten everybody. And so I think those horrible things that happen, you know, and even all the stuff that happened with your dad and FLDS and all these different things, they're all supposed to happen, and it's what we're supposed to learn from it. Now, I'm not saying that, obviously I'm not going to, if somebody's shooting up a school, I'm not going to try to stop them, right?
What?
I'm just saying, if I'm not to the point where if I see somebody actively shooting somebody, I'm not going to jump in there and stop them.
Yeah, you're going to jump.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
That's my intuition. I'm going to smash that person's face, right?
Right.
I'm going to neutralize the threat.
Right.
Right. But I'm following my intuition.
Right.
Right. So it's like, it's all connected, and if we believe that we picked out this life, your father picked his, you picked yours, I picked mine, and we all have different connections in those lives that intersect, that connect to other people's lives, that benefit or diminish. Right? It's the plus and the negative, the sun and the moon, as above, so below.
Yeah.
It's all connected. Did that?
Yeah. No.
I know it's mystical and weird and different, and it's a lot to think about.
Intuition is something that I've thought a lot about, because I was trying to follow my intuition coming out of the FLDS.
Yeah.
And often I would have times where I really felt strongly like I should do something.
Yeah.
And I would do the opposite just to try it, just to try to understand it better.
Huh.
And notice when I started feeling a turning point.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, because I grew up I guess you could even say superstitious. Like, everything I did was trying to be inspired and everything. So, but I would have these times where I would really feel something strong.
Yeah.
Like, you have got to do this.
Yeah.
And I would purposely go against it to try to understand, like...
How'd that work out for you?
Well, a lot of times what happens is everything is just fine.
Yeah.
You know? You go against it, and then things kind of pan out. It's like, and other times, it's like, oh, God, I shouldn't have done that. You know, there's an obvious something
Right.
where you're like, yeah, you know, something goes wrong, and you're like, oh yeah, I could have, like, besides my intuition, I probably could have just reasoned that one, you know?
Sure. Well, and, gosh, there's a lot to that, man.
I know. I don't know what to think about intuition because, like I'm saying, you can hijack someone's intuition to truly believe they should kill somebody. I mean, that's what the Islam terror people are doing. Those children, they believe they're doing God's work by doing a suicide bomb. But even in our society, things like that are happening in totally maybe more messed up ways. But I truly believe you can hijack someone's intuition, and if you're not careful, you can hijack your own or let it be hijacked by somebody. So I have some sisters that left the FLDS, but they immediately went into another group down here, another polygamous group. And when they went down, a lot of them say, oh, we feel such a good feeling. We feel such a powerful feeling here.
Yeah.
It feels right.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm like, no, that feels familiar, that to your intuition, and you genuinely believe it's right.
Yeah.
And so in cases like that, I do believe that people should, when something's too familiar, they should ignore their intuition for a little bit and go do something else.
So it's tough to balance out like intuition with comfortable thought patterns.
Yeah, familiarity.
Right? So the last girl I dated, her name was the same name as my ex-wife. Right?
Okay. Sorry,
And
I did not mean to laugh.
No, it's okay.
Inappropriately.
And her boy's name, well, two of their names are very similar to my names. I want to try to protect
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Very, very similar. Right?
Yeah.
Like within letters.
Okay.
Right? And we'll talk afterwards. But it was an old thought pattern. And it popped up to test me, to try to distract me, to get me to go into old thought patterns. And we had a beautiful experience, and a lot was different, and a lot was the same, you know. And I love her, and I love her family, and I appreciate the experience that we had. It was absolutely magical. Like, I learned from her, she learned from me. She made my life better, I made her life better. Right? But it was an old thought pattern. I was falling back into the ruts of control and not following my path that I need to follow to explore the psychedelic realm and live a beautiful life and help as many people as I can to awaken spiritually. And that's my life calling. Like, it's what I signed up to do.
Uh-huh.
Like, I believe in this movement. I believe in us reconnecting with Great Spirit, with God, with whatever you want to call it, the religion with no name. What I say in ceremony is, well, I'll just go through it.
Yeah.
We'll open a little bit of ceremonial space right here in this podcast. That work out?
Yeah.
All right. So we face south and we call in four different archetypes. This is one version of the ceremony. We have many where we call them bear or moose or whatever. I'll call in Great Serpent from the south. To the winds of the south, Great Serpent, wrap your coils of light around us. Teach us to shed the past the way you shed your skin. To walk softly on the earth, show us the beauty way. Aho, right? And we'll face west, and we'll call in Mother Jaguar. And to the winds of the west, Mother Jaguar, protect our medicine space. Teach us the way of peace, to live impeccably. Show us the way beyond death. Aho. Oh. Face north, and you went to I held the ceremony.
Yeah.
And we'll face north, to the winds of the north. Hummingbird, grandmothers and grandfathers, ancient ones, come and warm your hands by our fires. Whisper to us in the wind, we honor you who have come before us, and you will come after us, our children's children. Aho. Right. To the winds of the east, great eagle condor, come to us from the place of the rising sun. Take us under your wing. Show us the mountains we only dare to dream of. Teach us to fly wing to wing with great spirit. Aho. And now honor Mother Earth, or Pachamama. Mother Earth, Pachamama, thank you for bringing us together to honor all of your children, the stone people, the plant people, the four-legged, the two-legged, the creepy crawlers, the finned, the furred, and the winged ones, all our relations. Aho. And then the final is to recognize the sky. Father, Son, Grandmother, Moon, to the star nations, Great Spirit, you who are known by 1,000 names, and you who are the unnameable one. Thank you for bringing us together and allowing us to sing the song of life. Aho. Oh. And I'll say that at the opening and the closing of each ceremony.
Uh-huh.
And those archetypes, I've seen them, the snake, the hummingbird, they come in spirit form and allow healing of that sacred space. They assist the practitioners in bringing that energy to them and showing people that they can heal themselves.
Uh-huh.
Right, showing them that.
Is that a South American?
Yeah, Central and South American, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whoever made up those words, they're great.
So it's from the Four Winds Society. So I gotta give credit to those guys.
Four Winds Society.
Four Winds Society. It's a shamanic group that pretty big following. Is Alberto V. I always mess up his last name, but I think it's like Villalobos, something like that. Anyways, great people. He was a doctor, and he spent some time down South America, and he's all over the place.
Clear.
Oh, sorry. They do a lot of shamanic training online and in person, do retreats and stuff like that, and I try to follow them and jump in on some of their training. I try to. I need to do more, but it's like opportunity cost, which route do I go? But that's and I was trained by a lady up in Ogden on that route. She opened me up to that, and there's training in the South. There's training in the North that have all different connections to different traditions. Yeah.
I was reading that women would often administer this stuff in Greek society.
Yeah.
But then Christians really shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's another thing I was thinking about the Christians is in some ways the Christians have been brutal.
Absolutely. If you look back at history, like some of the most powerful shamans, most powerful medicine servers and healers are females. Yeah. And it makes so much beautiful sense that males are the protectors of this realm and females are the spiritual protectors of the other side.
That's so crazy because Dad, he often would, he had, hour-long sermons where he would explain that the power of the priesthood must come through a male, and females, because of their emotion, often get off on, they often invite evil spirits, is what he would say.
I disagree.
I know.
I respectfully disagree. Respectfully disagree with your dad.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I'm not saying I believe that, but I've heard that from when I was a young boy.
Sure. No. If you look at the manipulation that's happened over the eons, right? You look at Mary Magdalene, right? She was a prophet of prophets. She trained Jesus and the disciples. She was an amazing human being. She was an advisor to Jesus Christ, right? She wasn't a prostitute, right? But you notice how fear and shame has been put in there, and the diminishment of the female spirit of the divine feminine, and cutting out that beautiful side of life, right? Is a crime. Is a crime. We have lost so much by cutting females out of stuff. 100%. They are magical. I have a beautiful respect and love for females. Like, they are wonderful. They are God's gift, and it's and I believe it's time to change that. We need to. We have the Quorum of the 70, right?
In the Mormon Church.
In the Mormon Church, they have Quorum of the 70,
Yeah.
right? I think 35 of those should be females. It should be even spread, right?
Yeah, that would be so against the Mormon doctrine.
Sure it would. But I think that brings balance, though, right? Like, let's put some meat in the game, right? We are so focused on the male side of it that, listen to a stupid woman, blah blah blah, right? We do that, and it's ugly.
Yeah, but I think the Mormon Church is pretty harmful. I've talked to a lot of women there, and they feel like they can't be themselves. They feel like they can't even really participate in conversations.
Right. No, I disagree with that. I disagree with that policy. I disagree with women not being held up in the religious hierarchy of all of it. Like,
sure.
We are missing out, right? And what's beautiful in our in natural worship in the church that I belong to.
Yeah, let's tell people. So,
Yeah.
you are you a founding member of this, or just part of it?
I'm a big part of it. I'd say I'm on the board of directors, and Matt has taught me immensely.
What's it called? The Church of
Natural Worship.
Natural Worship.
Yeah, Natural Worship
Okay.
Church. And so we believe that plant medicines are the way to connect people with the other side, and to show their higher self, and to work through trauma. And we use our shamanic techniques, our Reiki, and we even have a psychotherapist. We have medical people that before we take people into ceremony, we make sure that they won't have any adverse reaction if they're on medications or what have you. And if, they have some bipolar schizophrenia, where they take a real stop and feel into it, and really be very, very, very careful. And a lot of times we'll say, no, I don't think this is your path, right? Because we want people to heal and learn from these experiences, not have a traumatic event and hate our faces forever,
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's a very new church. We don't have a brick and mortar type thing, but nature is our temple.
Yeah. Okay. What were we talking about
Before
we got into that?
Intuition?
No. Women.
Oh, yeah, the divine masculine, divine feminine, right? So if you look at the sun and the moon, right?
Yeah.
In perfect balance above us, right? As above, so below, right? And just like in a perfectly balanced marriage, which we don't see very often, right? Like, woman has equal say, the man has equal say, right? And they come together and they have this beautiful union, and they work out their differences and look at each other's point of view, and come up with the best solution that protects the family and is right for that family unit, right?
Yeah.
But so many times we get caught into ego and into the indoctrination of the lies that were put on TV, right? And think that we have to ignore our wife, or we have to do this, or you're a man if you do this, blah blah. All that different indoctrination type stuff has driven a wedge in between the connecting to the masculine and the feminine. And I believe that all of the the chemicals in the air to the chemicals that are in the Tide Pods to all the different synthetic things that are around us have separated us and affected us to where we don't feel connection to our loved ones, to our people we work with, to all these different things. And I think I know that psychedelics bridge that gap and takes that ego down. And unfortunately, ego is that's a balance thing too.
Yeah.
Right? Because you shed your ego here and become powerful on the spiritual side, then you have a spiritual ego, right? And you have to balance that out and realize that you are flawed and we can do amazing things, and not to get too into our heads thinking that I'm the master of all, right? I'm powerful and I have gifts that I think were given to me, and to follow this path, to learn the old ways, to bring those back into play and show people that they can heal themselves.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So I went down a rabbit hole there.
No, you're good. I agree that in modern society, whatever's going on isn't healthy. But for me, leaving the FLDS, yeah, I felt like I was leaving a lot behind. And to be honest, I sometimes feel pretty bad for my dad.
Right.
But I felt like I needed some sort of spiritual connection. Yeah. And in some sense, I felt like I had lost my life in losing that.
Yeah.
And I think this psychedelic stuff has really helped.
Yeah.
It's been the only answer. That's probably why therapists didn't work, because that's what I was looking for, and that's not what therapists offer. Yeah. Right?
Let's talk about, well, I don't know, I think there's a lot in our society that's broken. Right?
Yeah.
And I think modern, and like I said, I'm not professional. I don't know anything. I know my life experience in dealing with soldiers and counseling them and being a dad, advisor, and big brother to many, many soldiers over the years, right? There are some things that I think that the counselors get right, and there's other things that bring it back up and really take the scab off of a scar that can be processed and the energy let go, right?
Yeah.
But there's other, I think, tactics that they use: the tapping, the talking through scenarios and deep diving into them, and then taking the energy away from them, right?
Yeah.
Through the use of integration and those different types of things can be very healing. And I think a lot of therapists do the very best they can. The gal I dated for about a year, that's a magical story I have to tell you about. But she worked in hospice, and so she, and she was a birth doula, so she worked in the bringing life, and then also she's amazing. She's a wonderful person, and so I think there's some good things and negative things, and I think just like with us, man. Does an excavation job go perfect every time?
No.
Right? And are you flawed? And you're good too, right? Sometimes you can connect onto where you need to be, and other times you're way off, right?
Yeah.
And have a big old hole that you got to fill in, and time wasted looking for utility, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you're on the path, man. You nail it. So it's.
Yeah, I recently found some bones. I dug up this old thing on this project up there. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty cool, but after looking at them, I think they were only 300 or 400 years old. So
were they human bones?
No, I don't think so. I couldn't figure out what kind of bones they were, but yeah.
I remember when they were doing the dedication for Mountain Meadow Massacre.
Oh,
they had a backhoe.
Who did it? Just the Mormon Church, or?
Oh yeah, I think they're involved. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm not, I'm not throwing stones, man. It's
Yeah.
an event that happened at the time that people made a decision, and some of it's negative, some of it's positive,
Yeah.
but it was an event that happened, and it's part of that accountability, right? I think if a lot of these organizations came out and said, yeah, you know what, this happened, and it was before our time, and we're sorry, right? But I think too much we're involved in the legal side of things, where if somebody admits something, then we gotta, well, these people are affected by it, and you owe them $50 million because whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think we get too tied to the legal side, where if they just came out and I think part of it, putting up the monument down there, and recognizing that it was actually something that happened, then that's part of that healing process of healing those past generations. And I believe through this, we believe that every psychedelic experience heals 7 generations back.
Really?
So, like, we start doing the math, it's a lot. It's a lot to heal, but I believe that we're on that cliff face where we're getting ready to soar into the future, and
so for you,
awaken.
The future is bright.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
God's in charge, man.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Do you think Christian churches will also start doing some of this?
Yeah, I think we'll have a spiritual awakening, and I think truth will be revealed, and accountability will be brought, and the lies will be exposed. And I think that as a society, we're starting to see some of those truths come out. 10 years ago, they don't spray us down with cloud seeding. It's on the news. They cloud seeded this area and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Obviously it exists.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. So, and the word conspiracy theory was made up by some 3-letter organizations to cast shade on somebody who's actually has their brain turned on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but I believe these truths are going to come out, and it's all part of it.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be rough.
Well, there's some insane technology nowadays,
Oh yeah.
in the and probably a lot of it comes from psychedelics too.
Oh yeah.
But also it can be kept out of the reach of the common people, or used against them.
Yeah. Well, I think most. It's sad to say, but I think most major anything that has a commercial is probably not good for you. You know what I mean? And it's been compromised and is not doing good things for us.
Yeah.
You look at fluoride, right? Fluoride is a neurotoxin. What is it doing in water? What the hell are we doing? It calcifies our pineal gland, our access to the other side. What? Why would you put this waste into our water?
Yeah.
This poisonous stuff, right?
So you believe the pineal gland in your mind is basically your access to your soul, or
it's access to the spirit world. It's our portal to seeing our ancestors, to seeing the other side, to seeing the bigger picture.
do you mean just into our mind, or actual seeing?
They call it the third eye for a reason, and because you can see through it. This is what your spirit communicates with, how we can communicate telepathically, how we can follow our intuition and know that this is the right path to follow. We're being guided by that. And I think that when people get diverted and off their path and go down a bad path, their pineal gland is blocked and they're not seeing clearly.
Uh-huh.
So and all, from Wi-Fi to cloud seeding, the aluminum, the heavy metals that we're being sprayed on and are getting pumped into our veins with vaccines is all part of it. It's all part of blocking us and controlling us and not seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I believe. I may be wrong.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think the world is on a verge of some sort of religious revolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
Because nobody's satisfied.
Yeah.
And they're not satisfied with nothing either.
Yeah.
So something's going to happen.
Yeah. And it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be like, aha, okay. This makes sense. Sorry. I'm a flawed human and a flawed existence, and thank you for teaching me these beautiful lessons.
Yeah.
And it'll be a wonderful awakening, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Matt, thanks for coming. Is there anything you want to touch on before we close?
To give yourself grace and kindness and love the people around you, and really be grateful for every moment that we have. Right, because this is a special experience, this life. So I'm so grateful to be part of it.
And that's what's so insane about psychedelics. They make you feel that.
Yeah,
they
gratitude.
make you really feel that.
True gratitude.
Yeah.
Right? And it is the blood and the flesh of Christ, man. And it's in all of us, and we can tap back into that. Through meditation, through spiritual work, and I think we'll start to see people that live a couple hundred years because of that. And I think that's where we had people live until 800-900 years old, and it's because they were connected spiritually.
I believe that.
And they were able to heal themselves. They were able to get younger and unlock those things, those mysteries of the universe.
Yeah. No, I believe that. I've often wondered this in my intuition, if we become one with truth enough, if you will actually live longer. If you everything, like spiritually, physically, mentally, if you are one with truth to the degree that you're not going against the principles of life, then you probably live long.
Yeah, well, and you look at all the different stressors we have. I got a mortgage, I gotta go to work, I got this, I got that, I got food and water, right?
Yeah.
Well, on the spiritual side, like we don't need food, we don't need water, we don't need money. Right? We don't need it.
Right.
And to feel that and feel that it's going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
That I don't need money, I don't need food, I don't need water. We can survive. Like we're immortal, right? Our spirit lives on. It can't be destroyed, right? That is unlocking everything, right? It's everything.
Yeah.
And you see the bigger picture of all of the tragic stuff that's happened and what the bigger picture is. And it's all lessons, and everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining. Be careful. Use wisdom with the psychedelics.
Yeah. Be careful. Follow your intuition.
Yeah. Just if you are gonna try to figure out, or if you're gonna try to do it, then you should try to get with somebody that has done it, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And make sure that they have a bright light, a good feeling to them. There are, just like with any religion out there, there's some heretics, some imposters, right, that are doing it for the wrong reasons. They're doing it for money or for power or whatever they want, right? But if you have people that come out of the experiences and they feel enlightened and life's wonderful and they shed darkness, like that's the place you want to be.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I don't know what percentage, but I would imagine 80-90% of the practitioners out there are focused on taking care of the people that they're working with. So
Cool. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Like, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.